way. There's a tall, athletic man with a country rock parade. Long hair for a while with a porn stash to make you grin. Dustin Massey's here, let the music begin. Oh, Dustin Massey, with your rock and roll soul. Country roots deep, making every story whole. From the stage to the stars, you're a forward with pride, singing tales of life where the wild hearts ride. He's got the rhythm, he's got the groove. Dustin Massey's music makes you want to move, a legend in the making, with a heart of gold. For a night, stories are told.
Needs to drop on Spotify. This is the song that's going to be on all my reels.
Get in here. We got to start the show. Oh, hello, everyone, and welcome to the funkiest of Panthers. We have got an awesome show for you here on episode 174. Hooray!
Oh, there it is.
We have got our buddy Dustin Massey in the building. You want to say hey?
Hey, guys.
This is our third time with Dustin. Woo! It's been a while, but we're so glad that you're back. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Let's get into it. I'm Chad.
And I'm Tim.
And I'm not Javier, but I'm Dustin.
And
we are
the Funky Panther. It was rough, but we'll give it to you. He didn't know.
He didn't know. We both looked at him. He's like, "Oh shit! What?"
He didn't know.
I remembered that Javier's part. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Javier did. He did get up right before Dustin went on at Lola's, and
yeah, he
inadvertently
that was Mags. Or
Mags.
Yeah,
Mags.
I remember that.
Mags,
and inadvertently, like he didn't. Dustin had no idea that was happening.
No.
And Javier was going to do stand up.
Did you even know, like, when you came on stage?
Dude, so we kind of like did the show's over. We walked out the side, right?
Yeah.
And we're hanging out there, and we turned. He's like, "Who's on stage?" And we look, and Javi's up there, like, with the mic, and I'm like, "I don't know what's happening right now. We shouldn't go back in yet." Maybe he's trying to get him to yell for an encore, which they did, and it was cool. And we had to come back out and kick him off the stage, but I don't know what he was doing. He was definitely sober,
Yeah,
and
100%
collected, and was on a mission.
Yeah, that was such a good night, and it was such a good show. And we brought our friend Jordan. It was like she was celebrating her birthday. My birthday is right around that same time, and she got to listen to you for the first time. She's a huge fan now, and it was such a good night. It was a great night. So many good nights at your shows, like the one at Lola's not too long ago. That was a great night.
I wish I had "Oh What a Night," you know.
Oh, what a night!
And just drop that, and then that's it.
So if you're listening, you probably don't know that Dustin does a really good Javier impression. And if you're watching us on YouTube or have been watching for the first 30, like some have already been doing, thank you for hanging out with us. Javier's not with us tonight. Sorry about you. We love you, buddy. But he's not here. We have replaced him with a more beautiful, long-haired man, Dustin Massey.
Hang on. I think Javier is here.
Oh, is he?
Sometimes you have to just bend over and let life fuck you in the ass.
Whoa, Javier.
Come on.
Time out.
Okay.
You just barely show up and you drop that? Come on. That's
Hey,
ridiculous.
Chad, let me see that pink little penis.
Oh, whoa, buddy.
Dude, you gotta calmate. Oh my goodness. So it has been what, a year and a half? 2 years?
It's been 3 years.
It has not been 3 years.
3 years to the month since I've been on.
Wow.
It was 2021. We were about to release. We either just released Bad Love or we're about to.
This is your third time on, though.
Yep.
So I guess you came on twice within that first year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did it like before, like at the beginning of 2021 when I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're going to release Pretty Okay," which was the first single. And then we were getting ready to release Bad Love and be like, "Hey, I'm about to get rock and roll on y'all." Came back on and hung out, and it was great. And then a lot of life has happened in 3 years. I was on the treadmill today and like I was like, man, I need to like get my thoughts out of like what has happened since the last time I've been there. I was like, I need to make a timeline for myself, for my own record, to be like, what has happened? Because a lot of life has happened. And it hit me that it's been 3 years, like to the month.
Do you feel like, and I was having this conversation with my girlfriend the other day, the past 4 years, mostly 3, but 4 years have just been all over the place. Like I can't get my memory right. Like things happened around COVID and I was like 2020, I know what happened then. But then the 3 years after everything, I'm like, well, was that a year ago? Was that 5
They
years?
call that COVID brain.
Is it really?
What did they call it before COVID?
You're
Because I
right.
had it then too, I think.
Stupidity? Old people? I don't know what that is.
Somebody's like, the COVID brain fog. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay, so before COVID, what was my excuse?
Why was my brain not working then?
Yeah, I feel like I did the same thing. I started writing things down and started like putting them in chronological order so I could figure out what happened in my life.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. But you've had a ton of things. So are we able to go through those things?
Sure. Like let's see. So 3 years ago, we were here getting ready to release Bad Love,
Yeah.
which is really cool. So I would have just had like 2 singles out then. We had the album release. That was like end of August 2021, which we were talking about when Javier's debut for stand-up. And,
At Mags?
Then, the
Old
next,
Mags.
the old Mags,
Yeah.
RP. It was just kind of like a tear for that next year. It's kind of wild. So, at the end of the summer, right before the album came out, I released a song "Wannabe," and it was really cool. It got playlisted with I think it was called like Nashville's Fresh Finds. Maybe it was a pretty large playlist. I
Yeah.
don't know. 30, 40, 50,000 monthly listeners or something on that.
Damn.
So the numbers started jumping up a little bit. It's like, oh, this is really cool. Like went from a couple thousand monthly listeners to like 10,000 monthly listeners or 5,000 monthly listeners, whatever it was. And then right after that, we dropped the album and I released it through 1RPM was distributing it out of Nashville. And we had a cool relationship then. And they were like, we're going to pitch the album to like the playlisters,
Yeah.
the people who decide what goes on like a Spotify editorial and stuff like
Right.
that. And I released "Wannabe" because I was like, I at least want to put it out. It was kind of a song, like the cover art for the single was like a picture of me and my dad when I'm like 1, I don't know, and I'm like in front of like a little Yamaha keyboard, and
Yeah.
my dad's next to me, and I just took the Yamaha off and edited on "Wannabe." And I was like, I got to release this for my dad. That'll be really cool. And that's the song that was picked by the people who at Spotify or whatever that do the playlist, and it "Wannabe" got on the Texas Now or Texas Country Now playlist, and it has like 500,000 monthly listeners or something. So over the next like around the time the album dropped to the end of the year, like monthly listeners went from 1,000 or 2,000 to like 25, 30,000.
Yeah.
Which was really cool because all of a sudden it got way easier to get booked. So it was like coolest show ever at Mags, packed out, sold out night. I remember most of it, but we had a party that night. It was amazing. And that was kind of like it was weird. That was like my dream. That was kind of like my goal I had set out initially. It was like, I want to open for somebody awesome at Mags. And, like before COVID, we opened for Grady Spencer very early on like a stock show night. It was sold out. It was huge. We're like, okay, that's really cool. Second goal is like release an album. Third, I want to like play a packed night at Mags because Mags was just like the spot that,
Yeah.
I saw so many of the people coming up, William Clark Green, Mike Ryan, a lot of people that everybody knows from around here that really hit it off. And that happened, and it was just like that happened quicker than I expected. But a lot of it was just like ton of Fort Worth and community support, and like from family to friends to people like y'all. It was just like, it wasn't like there's a whole lot of people doing that had way bigger numbers than me and that have. But
Right.
I just feel like I've been like a part of this community that's been super
organic.
cool. And so, boom, like this thing happened, and I was like, I know that there's nothing like crazy happening right now. It's just like a lot of support and a lot of people a part of this thing wanting to see some of my dreams happen.
Right.
But then after that, it was just like, all right, we hadn't really like set a new goal or anything. So the next couple of years were just kind of like crazy, just like going with the wave of whatever was happening,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you were constantly gone. Like you were always doing things, right? Like how many shows were you performing? Like where all did you go?
man, all over Texas, and then we Oklahoma, Kansas, New Mexico, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, and all over Texas. Like a lot of fun, but a lot of nights driving back at like 4 or 5 a.m. And I'm driving back from San Antonio, and I've got like band sleeping in the back, or like my wife riding shotgun, and I'm just like, man,
You got to keep me awake.
Yeah, and we would stay awake and pound Red Bulls all night, and then I would fall asleep a lot of times at like 5 or 6 in the morning, getting home, and just like it's Sunday, and then it would reset. But I'm still like working during the week,
right?
You know, so it's like I'd have like Sunday to kind of reset and be like, okay, gotta get back.
So you were doing all this while still like maintaining a regular job?
Well, I wouldn't call it like a regular job, but like I worked with my family, my dad, and so like during COVID, I got my real estate license, and so I started doing that on the side, but also doing property management. We had like a little company with some rentals and stuff, and it's like taking care of that stuff, and then playing music and maintaining a relationship with my now wife, who had a regular schedule. She'd be getting up at like 4:30 in the morning to hit the train to go to Dallas and be a nurse practitioner. So
congratulations to y'all.
Yeah, life
since last time, right? Because I remember you talking about it to us after the show, and y'all got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I did like a show or like played a show or anything, and afterwards, it's just anybody listening be like, "Hey, I'm gonna like marry this girl."
Yeah, 100%. Like she understands that you told everybody. That, right?
Everyone knew but her.
I spoke that into existence. Like I'm definitely gonna marry her soon. They're like, "Didn't you meet her like a month ago?" He's like, "Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen."
Once I meet her dad, totally gonna ask him. Yeah. But anyways, she's 6 months pregnant now, and we've been married. It'll be 2-year anniversary June 4th coming up.
Wow.
That deserves the kids.
Congratulations to both of you.
That deserves
awesome.
the kids.
So yeah, so 2021's finishing out. That was crazy. We played a lot of really cool shows, like heroes of mine, like Wade Bowen. That was one of them. We played Wade Bowen a couple times, and I was like, man, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Like grew up just loving Wade Bowen. But you know, tons of other really awesome artists that we opened up for, which was always the most fun to me, is like supporting really, you know, guys who are going to sell a ton of tickets, and I got to show up and just like do my job well.
Yeah, and the best thing about that is like the exposure to like new people that have never heard your music, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've ramped up going to a lot of concerts here lately, and I'll look and okay, I don't know, I know the headliner, but I don't know these other people, so I immediately start listening to them, and you start discovering so much good music that way. And so by you being in that place, I can only imagine like all the positive exposure you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. And it was just like one thing after another kind of just was happening. We got on some, you know, cool shows that I didn't think, you know, I had been doing it long enough to get on those shows, but I definitely wasn't saying no. And like I said, getting on some of those playlists really help.
Does that really help? Like,
So
are there
much? Because I remember prior,
venues be like, let me see your numbers first.
not like that, but it'd be more like the bigger artist booking agents or their management.
I got you.
Nobody would ever be like, we don't think you're good. We don't want you to do this. You know, usually people would be like, hey man, like we'd love to give you a shot, but like you need to, you know, keep working your socials. I've never been like great at the socials. I go through seasons of like trying. I don't love it, but you know,
I'm not good at it.
Got to do it. But
You've had a lot recently that was all really, really good.
Thanks.
Just
man,
by the way,
thanks.
I know
I've
we'll get to that, but
been very committed to trying to do the
it's
things
great.
I need to do.
I love it.
Yeah, getting on the playlists was awesome then, and we were on them for about a year. So hitting like spring 22, we played. This is closer to home, but Texas Live. Played the big stage inside. With Fort Worth legends, Quaker City Nighthawks.
Oh, that's awesome,
dude!
yeah.
That was so cool, and you know, got like pictures of like us playing and like the big jumbotron screen like behind us. Like, man, this is, you know, if you crop it right, it looks like we were like some big deals.
We're in an arena right now. Yeah, that's,
You know, you just got to crop the photos right.
Right.
Maybe use some AI to just like duplicate my family members that are right up front.
And you could say you played at the ballpark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Technically.
But man, there was just a ton of other awesome shows. But you kind of fast forward, we got to go out. So I got married in June 2022. Yep, that's right.
You're not even using notes. I'm pretty impressed.
Got married. We got married out in Colorado, and we were planning to. I knew that later that June, we were playing Highway 30 Music Fest out in Idaho. Gordy Schroeder's Highway 30 Music Fest, and been looking forward to that for like a year because the previous summer it was just like I can't remember if I told this. I can't remember if this happened after the last time I was here, but like I just had like this random. We're driving on I-20 headed home. The girl who was helping manage me at the time like calls and was like, hey, can you be on a flight in 3 hours? And I was like, what? And just long story short, she was like, you're getting on a flight, you're going to Idaho, and you're playing this guy who owns a music festival's birthday bash that's to raise all this money, whoever, like, people have dropped out because of certain things, and somehow we're far enough down the hierarchy that we're to you. So you're going. And I went, it was awesome, had a great time, and it was kind of like a, hey, thanks for coming out or whatever. Y'all wanted to play the music festival, and everybody cheered, and it was like
Building
super
connections.
cool. So a year later, we had been like really anticipating like that's going to be an awesome thing. Already riding high. I'm getting married at like, it was like our dream wedding in Colorado, like on a mountainside. There was like 20 people there. It was amazing. And I get done, we get done with the wedding. I can't remember if it was I think it was the day before actually. Like we had done the, like the rehearsal dinner and everything. Yeah. No phone service where we're at. You had to connect to Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi was like really spotty. It would come on for like an hour or two and then be gone for like 6 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Just disconnect. So my phone connects to Wi-Fi, and it is like exploding. And it's like my band and manager and people trying to get a hold of me because I got asked to play some more shows on the way up to Idaho. And some of them were in Washington, and we couldn't make it line up to work. But we played Highway 30 the same day as a guy, Koe Wetzel. A lot of people know who he is. Pretty big artist.
I've heard. Yeah. I think he's got a bar here maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And then we were leaving Highway 30. They were asking if you would route to Montana and go play in Bozeman with him and open up for him. Mm-hmm. And it was like the coolest music experience ever is like Highway 30 in Idaho, and then to go to Bozeman and play with Koe. And I know a handful of guys in his band, so it was super cool. Grew up with them. And it's just like, I'm about to marry my dream girl. And like on our like second or third time ever hanging out, she came to a show in Dallas, and she was like, I won't be the girl who's chasing you around in a van. And you fast forward, and it's like the days after our wedding, and we're in like, not even a van. We were using my Shane, the other guitar player, his dad's King Ranch with a tarp over the back with all the gear. Like they're driving that. We're in a rental car because we were like meeting up, and they drove it all the way. They met us in Idaho, and they drove it up, and then we ended up going to Montana and playing with them. It was incredible. And then the rest of the summer played a bunch of really cool shows.
Damn.
So that year was just like, it was pretty dope.
I just remember following on social media and being like, God damn, he is everywhere. And then I would see things like Koe Wetzel and everything popping up. I'm like, holy shit, like this thing is just taking off. Because it seems like you were doing like one show that propelled the next show, and it sounds like it's about right. Because listen to what you're talking about, right? Just like, I don't know. It's crazy to watch from a distance. It really was.
I outkicked my coverage a lot that year. Honestly. But yeah, the summertime was still great. I think we came back and we played a cool show in Fort Worth with Cody West. Love those guys. And then we were hitting about the 1 year mark of the album coming out. And then I would say it was like probably like week 56 or something, Wannabe dropped off of that Texas Country Now playlist. And it's crazy to watch how just that happening, it was like every week my monthly listeners would go from like 25,000, 23,000, 21,000. And I would like check it every Monday and be like, okay, maybe it's only going down a couple of hundred. And every week it was just like going down because you were exposed to so many people, you know? So it was like a lot of really cool things happened.
Did you see a spike in the rest of your songs too? Like, were people curious to be like
some of them? Yeah, some of them. Yeah,
okay.
It was cool. Like some songs that what was tough was like some songs that I didn't think Wannabe was going to be anything.
Yeah,
you know. I thought songs like Black-Hearted Woman, like ones that I really liked playing, were going to like blow up. But like I think Black-Hearted Woman has like not many streams. The acoustic version has more streams.
Really?
You know, but then Pretty Okay and Woman Like You ended up being one up there, you know, which is cool for Chelsea because I wrote it about her. But yeah, once it dropped off, the numbers started coming down, and that was tough. But it was like, you know, just the same as in COVID, like everything stopped for a while, and then like everything felt like it sped up. Well, it's kind of like for what we were doing in music, kind of felt like we got like slingshotted out of COVID into moving a lot faster than we probably should have been moving.
Right.
It was really cool. I don't think we like got ahead of ourselves or anything. We're just like rolling with it. Like we'll figure this out later. And then, you know, got dropped from that playlist and the numbers started coming down. It got a little tougher to book, but that fall, so it'd been fall 22 in October, we were playing a show in Arlington at the Levitt Pavilion. It was really cool with Koe Wetzel, actually.
Yeah.
And my folks came out, and dude, it was just such a great night. There was a ton of people out, and it's like a big stage. It had the big screens on the side or whatever. They actually, the whole show is like still up on YouTube. So it was really cool. And hadn't seen my folks in a while. Dad comes out to the show, really dope. And we like finished the set with Wannabe. And I don't know why, simulation maybe, but I like gave a spill about why I wrote that song. I like dedicated it to my dad.
Yeah.
And like I sing it like right at him. And it was just really cool. And after the show was over with, like called him backstage or whatever, gave him a big hug and told him I loved him. He said, I love you. And he was like, man, this is one of my favorite shows I've ever seen you play. The way it was set up. He had bad tinnitus from working on trains his whole life.
Yeah.
And he was like, the sound didn't bother me here. I didn't even have to wear my earplugs. I'll never forget him saying that because you always wear earplugs if he was at Mags or something.
Right.
And gave him a hug and asked him to walk Chelsea to her car and wave bye. And then he passed a couple days later.
Oh, shit.
And so that was tough, obviously.
Yeah.
Kind of put things... I say to put things on the hold. I wasn't like consciously putting things on a hold, but just like all of life kind of just was just weird for a while.
I mean,
Still is to a degree, but like there was a few months there was just like, do I want to keep playing music? I played a couple shows, but no.
Time just kind of stops.
Yeah, time did kind of stop, and months would stack up, but it would be like, man, feels like it's been forever. Also feels like it was like yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's weird how, like, I look back at it now and I'm like, man, how lucky am I that I had that show, that moment with him.
Yeah.
He got to see that year prior. He was at my album release.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so cool.
He was such a big cheerleader for you.
Yeah.
That was the thing is like, I remember seeing him at their album release and just how like your whole family was just, enamored essentially. And so to have that moment, I mean, that's like, that had to be like a driving force to get you back into it. Like looking back at like, I did this, my dad loved it, didn't have to wear his earplugs. You really replaying all that stuff. You're like, I got it. That's what he wants me to do. Get back in music.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
It had to have been that kind of mindset.
And not even just music, just in general, like shaking things or slow down a little bit and just be like, all right, it's so easy to constantly be like, what's the next like finish line I can put out there to chase after? And you got to have goals and stuff, but also just like, F it, like let's live and soak some things in, right? So I kind of made it a point once things caught up a little bit after the holidays and stuff, and it kind of sunk in that Dad was gone. Really thought about how much support I had from him and my family. My mom, she's amazing, and they just like always supported me like chasing the music thing. In fact, I was more the one like, nah, that's silly. I need to be more focused on this other thing. I mean, I went to school for so long.
Yeah.
I was just like, I need to be not doing the arts thing. But
That's that whole imposter syndrome that you mentioned the first time that you were on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I fought it forever, and maybe I don't have it as much anymore because I just don't even think about it as much. I'm more just like thinking about the experiences and what's happening. It also helped in a lot of ways to get over kind of the coming down a little from the high of like, oh, the numbers are up and these things are really cool, and putting it all kind of in perspective. And so when 2023 was hitting, it was kind of like, I knew I wanted to record some new music, and we did. And I wanted to like experience anything and everything, right? Like, so like slow down with my wife. Let's go. What do we want to do? We planned like the honeymoon we never got to do. And so didn't play much music in 2023. Like we played a handful of shows. One of the cool ones we played in Fort Worth was the one you came out to, Lola's.
Man, that was so much fun.
Where we kind of did the Rocky comeback promo. I was telling Tim, it's like I had so many people. It's the first time I like kind of TikToked a little bit and started doing the reels, and I really hadn't done any music promo in like 6 months. I just kind of like went dark,
Yeah.
And I popped back with like this gray, nasty beard, and people were like, "How old are you, dude?
What happened?
I thought you were 25. Are you 48?" I'm like, "Man, I've had like a lot of gray since college. Leave me alone." But I am in my 30s now. But we like everybody came out. I was like blown away. Like I was emotional after the Lola show because I was like, "Damn, man, people still like give a shit."
Dude, it was
And
packed too,
lot of
and it's in my opinion, I've been to a few Lola shows, And it's hard to pack that place out now, I feel like, because it's just, you got inside and outside, and it's just a big area.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fucking people there.
Man, the same night, Koe Wetzel, it's funny, that was who we were talking about. He was at Dickies Arena that night.
Yeah.
Sold out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like 14,000 people or something.
So half of Fort Worth was at Dickies.
And I just remember like finding that out the week of, and I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Shit.
Like, there's going to be 8 people at this show, and it was packed, and I was
Yeah.
just like blown away. It was really cool. There was a photographer who came out, and he was like, "Hey, I was supposed to photograph the Koe show, and for some reason they wouldn't take my credentials and let me in. So like, can I just photograph yours?" And we got like killer photos from that night.
Hell
that I
yeah.
still
That's
use.
awesome.
Things still align.
That
you
was
know?
really cool.
Didn't y'all have like drink specials or something like that night, right? Wasn't there like shots or
I
something?
don't remember what they were.
Yeah, I don't either, but I remember I took all of them. I drank whatever was on the menu.
A buddy of mine was helping promote it
Yeah.
at Pearl Snapped on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Shout out, Steven. And he helped promote it that night and like helped me put together the poster with my really good friend and now manager Ryan. We took the picture outside of like the bar across the street from my house, and I just had like a fist in the air with my guitar and a beanie, and I tried to have like Rocky vibes with a hoodie on, like sweating out in the people were like, why is this guy in sweats? It is June in Texas. This is come on, buddy. But yeah, that was like a ton of fun, and I'm trying to think. I played a handful of shows to finish out the year.
Yeah,
And it
Rusty
started,
Nickel. There was one at Rusty Nickel.
Yeah, I actually played the anniversary of my dad passing.
Yeah.
We were like, we got to do something fun, and it was like last minute threw that together. I actually booked that while we were in Europe because I didn't really have anything booked. I had like this really cool event at Tulips in town, but I didn't have a lot of music booked throughout the rest of the year. I was just kind of telling everybody no, being very selective. And so Rusty Nickel's amazing. Like we love those guys over there.
You liked it.
And-
You told us about Smokestack back
Yeah,
in
when
the
it was
day.
Smokestack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've done so much of it. We had our like wedding reception that was like months later after we got married. We had it there, so like we love it over there. But yeah, so when we're in Europe, we were on like I think we were still in Rome actually, and we were like pretty wine drunk, and we were up like there's like a lookout spot like where there's like a wall. I can't remember what it's called, but like there's a lot of people like making out and stuff. I was like, this is obviously like a place people go to be like romantic. We like I there was like a DJ, and my wife went to the bathroom, and I like tipped the DJ like 10 euros or something. I was like, hey, can you like play a song? And I had him play Woman Like You.
Yeah.
So she came back out, and we like slow danced, and everybody's like, oh, and like they were like freaking out, like we were like 2-stepping and they're like clapping for us and stuff.
Hell
Really
yeah.
sweet moment. But anyways, I thought of that because I was like wine drunk, and I was like messaging the girl who books at Rusty Nickel. I was like, listen, I know this isn't like a month, but I have to play a show, and there's somebody on it. If I can get them to be willing to open for us and let us like play it and make it a free show, like, would you be into it? And they were like so cool. And they're like, hey, if you can pull it off, and the artist who's booked is down, we'll make it happen. And it all worked out. So that was really cool.
I got to introduce my parents to your music that night.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They loved it. They were super into it.
That was awesome, man. So that was a fun night. But yeah, it's crazy that happened. But yeah, going to Europe before that, I mentioned that was part of the like just go like live it. I remember like looking at the flights, and like it's like the planning was starting to rack up because we didn't use like a travel agency. Like we're like, we'll figure this out.
Good on
know?
you.
And we stayed in like 9 cities over 21 days, and it was like it's not cheap.
Yeah.
We did it like probably really cost effective, but I just remember being like, Dad would just be like, screw it, just go.
Yeah.
Just go do it. Just go do the thing. And actually, we did a lot of traveling, even more than just going to Europe. Like we flew to Arizona just to play golf and see a John Mayer concert, like last April. Like just doing fun stuff, man.
Yeah.
We went everywhere: Boston, Portland. We went all over, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Just like living it up. And so, not as much traveling for music last year as opposed to the year prior.
But you got to live some life.
We were living a lot,
Hell
and
yeah.
then hitting 2024 with like an EP in the pocket, and looking forward to playing more shows. And
You got the single that just dropped.
yeah, just dropped. Always Been This Way, and man, the timing worked out really well on that. Like I wanted to, make it like song of the summer type of vibes. If
Yeah.
it's like an upbeat song, and felt like it would be really cool for like hitting summer. So
It's fun. I like it a lot. It's great.
and the response has been cool, and we'll see if it gets playlisted or whatever. But I've kind of made, obviously I wanted to, and I just saw that it got on like a BMI like fresh release or something, top 10 playlist for like something like that, BMI fresh finds or something.
Yeah.
Some BMI playlist, and BMI is pretty cool because
Yeah.
they like know everybody in music.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Did
And
it
then-
drop 2 weeks ago? Or before?
What day is it? No, it dropped. It was Friday.
Okay.
It was Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. Friday at midnight. I'm gonna stop doing the midnight thing. I'm gonna be like Thursday at 6 p.m. Like I just like he was like, why does everybody do like it's dropping on this date and it like means midnight. Like as soon as it's like
Right.
it was dropping. I guess what was it like the 19th or something? I can't even remember the date now.
It's just what people do.
But
It's like
but it's like
Thursday
what
night
they
at
do, and I was
midnight.
like, why can't I'm gonna stop? No, I'm graybeard. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start dropping the song at like 3 p.m. on a Sunday, like when
you're eating dinner.
Dustin's rebranding himself as Graybeard now.
Yeah.
Graybeard. Welcome to Graybeard Show.
Yeah.
Graybeard the Wise.
Anyways, yeah, really proud of that song being out and looking forward to whatever it does. But just it was a really cool process making it, and we cut it like more than a year ago. We did it with Josh Serrato. He plays for Koe Wetzel. he used to play. He used to play for William Clark Green for a number of years.
Yeah.
Josh is incredible. He's got a studio, Melody Mountain Studios out. It's where they have Larry Joe Taylor Festival.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
It's so cool. You like drive out to this pasture and you're like, where am I? And then you roll up and there's just like this amazing studio inside, and used my guys, like the guys you've seen me play live with.
Yeah.
Nathan on drums, like he was killer. He's got to do some brag on him. He got to do some really cool things in this last year. Since I was playing a little less, he's played more with some other artists, and one of them got to open for Cody Jinks at Red Rocks.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
So I now introduce him as Nathan the Red Rocker Zine. I don't do that. But
Yeah, well,
if
it
he ever
didn't really
listens
roll
to
off
this,
the tongue.
if he ever listens to this, he'll be really glad I did that. I did that so I don't have to pay him more since he played Red Rocks. But
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, and then Cam, bass player, he's like, he got like an incredible job. Like he like has been a full-time musician forever, and now he's like a manager of a bank in Dallas out of nowhere. Just like actually, he got this job. He got like a job as like a teller like the week we had album release. And I remember him being like stressed out because we were like rehearsing stuff and everything like this, but he was like getting ready for these interviews. And now it's like however 2.5 years later or whatever it's been, and he's like a manager of a bank, and then he'll just like all the people from like Origin Bank will like come out to shows when we play. Like we played I'm trying to think, like we would play like Hanks and McKinney or something.
Yeah.
And like his coworkers would show up, and I'm like, this is like Batman changing really quickly. He would like roll up for sound check like in a suit.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've got his stuff set up, and he's like sweating and like just changing like Superman or whatever, getting ready to jump on stage. Miss sound check sometimes, just jump on stage and slay it. So that was really cool. And then Shane, who played lead guitar
So
for me
good.
forever, he's incredible. And I was taking time off, and there's a guy named Kanan Bryce who is like, he's on the road with a lot of these bands. Like they've been on the road a lot with a band called Pecos and the Rooftops, and I don't know what happened, but he like posted and was like, hey, I'm looking for a lead guitar player. You got to be a pro, blah, blah, blah. And I just like immediately DM'd him. I was like, dude, you're going to think this is a joke, but like you should take Shane and go like play with him because he's too good to not be playing because I'm not playing right now. And so Shane's been playing.
Shane's incredible, man.
Shane
He
just
is so
they
good.
just got off the road. They were in like North Carolina, South Carolina, like opening for Picks and the Rooftops and like kick-ass shows. So they're doing that, and it's
But it's his guitar on the EP?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And it was really cool this go around. On the album, I didn't write a whole lot of lead guitar stuff, but on this go around, we didn't use AI. But I did.
Look, I'm just saying, if you need somebody to get you some
It's
AI
gonna get
music,
cheap
I
in the
got you.
studio. I'm just gonna be like AI Jimi Hendrix. Just, but no, so Shane was super cool. It was like a growth thing for us in the studio. Is I wanted to be really more involved in the guitar stuff, and I'm an okay guitar player, but like it's like when Shane's sitting next to you, it's really hard to want to be like I'm gonna be the guy to play the guitar. He's incredible. So I like sang the parts. I like would write the parts, and I'd use my guitar, and I'd like come up with these melodies. Some of the like solos are him, right? But on Always Been This Way. It's like, it has like these na-nas, like these gang outros.
Yeah.
And I wanted that to basically, we came up with that after I came up with the lead guitar part. It's just like, na, 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 na. And,
Right.
and it was like singing these parts to him, and he would play it. And I'd be like, okay, that's cool. And he'd mess with the tone and whatnot. And we have these like really cool videos. I think it's in one of my reels or TikToks or whatever I posted. And it ends with him like playing a lick and looks at the producer, and the producer's like, yeah. And it was that moment he was like, yeah, that was the take. And I'm like sitting there singing to him. He's playing it, and it's being recorded, and tracked by the producer. It was a cool experience because I just felt way more involved with that. I'm very proud of it. But yeah, and when we cut this EP, got more songs coming out, obviously, in just a few days. But it was like the beginning of 2023. Just kind of sat on it. It was like, when's it going to be the right time?
So I may or may not have gotten a link from someone that I know to listen to some of the songs. So
And he may or may not have linked it or leaked it to
Yeah.
me. And
I noticed that the upload on those were like 8 or 9 months ago. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, he's been sitting on
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Did y'all listen to him?
Oh yeah.
yeah, my favorite's the little bit slower. I can't remember.
Heart
what
with
the
a
second
Hole?
one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man,
I want to sit outside in the pouring rain and just cry. Like if I'm in a hurting mood,
yeah.
just sit me outside in the middle of a field with the rain. That's a music video right there.
Man, you might get to be the star. We just like pop open a little bourbon
Bro,
and you sit there.
if you pull the Funky Panther in a music video, we're gonna love you forever.
We might have to do that, actually. That would actually be great.
I'll grow
Get
my
y'all.
beard out. I'll look all disheveled.
Man, that's Heart with a Hole's the next single release.
Okay, it's
So,
good, but it is
be
sad.
looking for that at some point in June. It's definitely sad. Man, we're gonna release that one.
Okay.
I'm just gonna like lay it all out. I haven't told anybody this. So just dropped Always Been This Way.
Yeah.
We're gonna release Heart with a Hole next month, and then we're gonna release Swim or Sink, which is the other
I
song.
love that one.
That one's like, these are like big sounds. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really really proud of it.
Yeah.
And then we're working on. It's not done yet, but it'll be whether it's all together or we'll do a separate. Like, there's these 3 tracks for the EP, and then I'm doing them again, like stripped down, like acoustic, piano, fiddle, like that's like violin, fiddle, violin. I don't know how to distinguish.
Kind of
the
like that
difference.
up in Nashville.
Yeah,
whenever
the
you did
Nashville
that.
sessions. Yeah. So that was cut just live. That was just me and a guitar live on 3 songs. But similar to that, this will be. I don't think I'm going to cut these live because I won't say who it is yet. But like I've got some like beasts.
Sure,
that are
yeah.
going to be working on this
Yeah.
that I'm really excited about. So yeah, I think it'll be cool because these songs are like big and rocking, and they're ready for
Yeah.
radio.
Swim or Sink, the guitar in that one is fantastic.
Yeah.
Love that one. And then I love I'm going to butcher the lyric, but essentially like, I don't know if I'm living or just dying slow.
Yeah.
Such
Yeah, that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Such a,
Is this living or
love
just
that.
dying slow?
I love that.
Can I shake the feeling in my bones?
That just
Yeah.
stuck with me. I was like, God damn, that's good. Yeah.
Thanks. Well, all of those songs like were like gradually written over the last few years. There's different parts. It's funny when we got called back up after Javier's brief introduction to stand up.
Yeah.
So we actually didn't have an encore planned that night, and we were just like, "What are we going to do?" And I had started writing this song called "Always Been This Way," which we just released. It was completely different than it is now. There was a lot of the same. I'd say like 50% of the lyrics are the same, maybe less, but the music was probably like 30% the same. And I remember going up there and like we hadn't rehearsed that for the show or anything. We're just like we were like in a powwow, like, what the fuck is Javier doing?
God damn it,
All right,
Javier.
he's buying us some time. What are we gonna play? Shane, of course, is like, let's just play Little Wing for like 8 minutes. And I'm like, that's an idea. That's an option. We got to go up there and do something. And we played Always Been This Way. And I think we played a cool version, whatever we did, but we hadn't ever like rehearsed it and got it ready for that. So it's funny that's.
I remember it being good.
Yeah.
Like,
I
do
remember not
remember
knowing that
yeah.
song. And I was like, this must be new.
I think we did that, and then we did a Lenny Kravitz cover right after that. I think that's what we did. I think we did a Lenny Kravitz
you're
cover.
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, Shane wasn't wrong. You'd always do Little Wing. You'd
can.
always jump in the Freebird.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always some staples that you could just. Purple Rain, if you want to do a rendition of that. I mean,
It's
that's
just funny. The guitar player will always be like, his like any suggestion. Hey, what should we do? Let's play the song that's a guitar solo for 7
let me
minutes.
rip.
Let's just do it. Y'all just hold it down. I got this. And he does. But anyways, yeah. So always been this way. Like I started writing that around the time the album came out, and it just kind of, had a whole batch of songs ready to record and pick from. But these days, like, it's like the problem with some of the songs on the album that I wanted to get a little more attention. Mm-hmm. It's a single-driven music era.
Which is wild. But, because, we've heard this from several musicians now where it's, and management groups, it's like, you just got to pump those singles.
Yeah.
EP, pump a few singles out, put an EP out.
Yeah.
I blame TikTok, honestly.
It is exactly the
short form media. I want it right there. However, man, there are some artists that are getting some serious exposure, blowing up. Dexter and the Moon Rocks. I don't know if his social media. He's
Ryan.
He's a drummer. Yeah, started doing the whole like hot goth girl liking our and started doing, and it just blew up like that, and then sold selling out shows and stuff.
Yeah, wow. They're killing it. It's funny. I just I was chatting with the guys that were in the studio that like did their first record or whatever, and they were kind of talking about like when they did it, I don't know that they knew like what sound they kind of wanted to have, and they hadn't blown up yet, and now they're like blowing up, and I think like we did that on purpose. That is our sound. We knew what we were doing. That's exactly what we were aiming for. But they're super unique. Like they have their own thing.
They coin it as like sad, like Nirvana cowboy. It's
dope.
If you haven't checked them out, they're worth listening to. They're good.
Yeah, they're great.
I actually reached out to Ryan, just kind of as they're starting to get up there, and he was like, "Hey, you're coming through town," because they're from I think Abilene, and it's like, "You're coming through town, swing by, let's have you on, or let me catch a short interview with you, whatever." And he hit me with, "Hey, you got to run it through my manager." I was like, "Oh man," and I get that. Like I'm not no. If you end up seeing this,
he's a Fort Worth guy.
Yeah, is he Fort Worth? Okay, yeah. I have to reach back out to him.
Ran into him at last time I saw him was at Nickel City. Yeah. After Joe P concert. I don't know if you ever heard of Joe P.
I have.
He's another guy who kind of blew up on TikTok towards the end of COVID, like producing his own music. He was great. But anyways.
Yeah, he does all the videos where it's just him like on the guitar, like in his yard.
Yeah. So, I stole the idea and slightly changed it for the stuff we're doing. I was like, man, this is really cool. He kind of always does the same thing. He kicks a rug out, just walks up to the mic and starts playing. But it's usually always overdubbed, right?
Yeah.
He's just like, he's actually doing it, but then he just puts the song right over it. So when I was like, man, how am I going to start doing these like TikToks and Reels for the single release? Chelsea's my producer. She's holding the camera. But it's funny. She Amazon primed me a ring light stand. And she was just like, you need this.
Stepping up your production.
You need this. You weren't going to order this for yourself. But big time production over there. But yeah, we just like
fancy. One
day we were like, let's just go there across the street and just set it there. And I'll just walk up to the mic and just start playing. It like turned out kind of cool. I don't have like a huge social media following, but if I did, man, I bet it would have blown up.
But that's the thing, is like
consistency.
It's consistency and one song,
Yeah.
And then all it takes is that one song for people to start picking up and start using it in their, Instagram or whatever, or their TikToks, and then it's just like fuel to the fire at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
It's super cool because even if, there's been a few that have, a few thousand views or whatever, but, and some of them only have a few hundred, but every time I post some, like there'll be somebody new, even if it's just one person that'll like message something or comment something, and they're like, hey, this is dope. Somebody today, I got like reposted by this guy, really cool follow, Country versus Metal. And he's like a metal guitar player.
Yeah.
Who, dude, I think he has like 400,000 or 500,000 followers on TikTok. He's like maybe 3,000 or 4,000 on Instagram, but he just does like first reaction to songs, and he'll just be like, this song by Cody Jinks, this song by Zach Bryan, this song by Whiskey Myers, and he's done a handful of mine. Just be like, this is I think the first one he did was Hard Times, my song Hard Times, and I think it's the reason why the streams went up on it, just because he reviewed it.
Oh shit.
And he just does
I remember seeing that.
He just does like a verse and a chorus, and he's like, oh yeah, I really like this guitar lick or whatever he's doing, and he's a metal guy listening to the Texas music, Texas country scene, and so that's really cool. But like there's people who like message me, I would have never found this if it wasn't for that. Really dig your music, Somebody the other day was like, "Oh man, I just saw your sponsored." I always wonder about that. Like some of the posts that I posted recently, I'll put like
What was it, Pendleton? Or
well, there was that one.
Yeah.
That's a funny story. But yeah, like I'll throw like $10 on a boost or something.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, I'll just boost this for the next 3 or 4 days, so like it makes sure to get out there. I don't know how the algorithm works.
Yeah, I don't either.
I haven't paid for a blue check mark yet, so I think you have to pay for those now.
yeah, you do.
And Chad's got one.
I got rid of it. I got
But
laid off and I got rid of it.
Doesn't it
I'm
help?
not
though?
official anymore.
It did.
It's like
I
if
got
you have the
quite
blue
a
check
few
mark,
followers.
you're gonna get more in the algorithm.
Yeah.
you're just going to.
You
and so
are.
sometimes I'm like,
when
maybe
I stopped
should do
doing
that.
it dropped off.
Cancel Netflix, Dustin. Pay for the blue check mark.
It's the
it
same.
makes better business sense.
It actually
it's a
really
it's a
does.
write off, bro.
It really does. You're almost to the point where you should be getting one by yourself anyway, right? Like all you need, I think that it used to be anyway, as long as there was people trying to act like they were you could. So all you need is a couple of dummy.
Okay, so
Mustin
so what,
Dassy.
Y'all
So
are
what-
gonna make some and
Yeah,
start
so
sending
what
some
you're
weird
saying-
messages.
Dustin Massey, not official. That's gonna be mine.
I'm gonna go Mustin Dassy,
There you go.
and then just like make it all him
Yeah.
with your face.
That's fine. I'll report y'all. That'd be fine. If that's what it takes.
Just gonna be me with a wig.
Save
Right.
me $16 a month on a blue check
You're
mark.
welcome.
I appreciate that. Have to bring y'all some steak sandwiches as a thank you. But yeah, I copied Joe P and just trying to like do the same thing over and over again, and it's been cool. Got more stuff planned, and I think I'm going to make. I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, we should just make my own music video with reels.
Hey, you should.
Like the Always Been This Way starts as like lying in bed, hardly sleeping, staring a hole through the ceiling, and it's like me in bed holding the phone faced on myself, like singing it, looking up at the ceiling, and I just flip it around and like have a GIF or a sticker or whatever just go across with like a shooting star.
Hell yeah.
And just like it's like obviously it's like funny because of how poorly made it is,
Right.
But it still would all be overdubbed.
Dude, you could do like just 15-second
Yeah.
or whatever bits and put those each out as a TikTok and
Yeah.
then combine them into. Is that what you're saying? Like
Yeah.
That's genius because then you got
You just put
twofold.
each one out and then put the whole thing out.
Right.
And then maybe just put the ones that did well out again.
Right.
Yeah. TikTok rules the world now, man.
Yeah.
For like another year until they ban it.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I've seen Dune 2. I know how this works out.
Is that what happens when we get rid of
When you
TikTok?
get
Is
rid of
Dune
TikTok.
2?
Actually, I think it's Dune 1, but you know,
Right. I mean, they correlate.
that's what's coming.
Nice.
Man, I was trying to find this band real quick because you talking about releasing your own music video through Reels. I mean, and that's kind of what there was this band that did a song called "Who's Laughing Now," and for the life of me, I cannot remember, and I hate that I can't remember it. But it was a brother and a sister that just during COVID they needed something to do, and they kind of started doing their own music.
Yeah, just drums and guitar, right?
Drums and guitar,
100% that.
and they literally threw up a yellow back like piece of paper that went down and filmed it in their garage, and it was back when TikTok was doing the short form media more and not so much long, and so it was just like snippets of that music video, and it just blew up. So all it takes,
Man, I feel like I know who you're talking about. I can't think of the name of him either.
Dury?
Yes.
Dury.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like a kind of like a bigger dude,
Bigger dude,
dark hair,
almost like a mullet, glasses.
Yeah. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
But again, all it took was just that kind of like that vision, and it was a very short snippet, but it had the hook, and people got into it and started. That's all it takes, man.
Yeah.
That consistency, and you start. I say do it.
I just got to keep with
Just do it.
You have to.
Man, I'll look at some of my friends who've like started like music friends who've like started kind of really blowing up and growing on it, and dude, they post like 3 to 5 times a day.
That's a lot.
And it
Holy
is
shit.
a lot, but like it gets so lost in the algorithm that I feel like you're not like I'll see one and I'll be like, this is from 2 weeks ago, you know, and then I go look and it's like, you know, this was from 9 days ago, 9 days ago, 9 days ago, 9 days ago in a row, but I didn't see any of them. So I don't know that the algorithm just if you post 3 or 4 times a day, I don't think the algorithm just shoves all of those in a row.
Well, to you.
Well,
Lou says I asked Lou about that, Lou Charles, and he was like, just once a day.
yeah.
That's what he said, just once a day.
Yeah, but they're just going out there.
Yeah.
And as soon as again, it's the algorithm. So you might like a certain video, so they're pushing one thing to you. Tim likes other shit, that one might come to him. So the good thing about putting out 3 or 4 a day or whatever is you're setting out just a wider net is all you're doing.
Yeah,
It's a lot more work.
Sure. Yeah.
And your friends and your family and your actual fans might not see all of them, but you're setting out a wider net for more people to kind of get you on the radar.
Yeah.
But that's a lot.
I believe the algorithm works similar to South Park, where they I don't know if you remember, but I think it was like the they had the censorship or whatever. It's like the manatees picking, and they pick the ball, and that's what gets there's some hamsters somewhere that are wandering through a maze, and that's how things work. Yeah,
obviously.
No.
Well, man, it's good to have you on. It's good to kind of catch up. We didn't even really talk about like sports or anything.
No.
like
Oh
that.
my gosh, dude. We've got some big ball games coming.
Can we
up.
just take like the last just the last few minutes and just hit up the highlights on what's going on with sports right now in the DFW area and how amazing it is right now?
Yeah.
I think we should do that.
Yeah.
But you just got to give me 1 second because I don't use the sports sound anymore, and I've got it here.
Sorry, Javier. We're gonna butcher your segment.
And now, Action Sports with Dustin and Chad.
Hey, it's me, Chad.
Hey, it's me, Dustin.
And we're going to talk about sports a little bit. So we have got 2 of our local teams here in the DFW area that are just absolutely fucking killing it. And I don't know about you, but I feel like they're feeding off of each other's energy. You feel that too?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, I'm 1-2, I'm 1-2, I'm 2, and it's just like going back and forth. It's crazy. Have you been watching the entire series? Let's start with the Stars. What
Everything.
are your thoughts?
I've been watching all of it.
Okay, so let's start with the Stars then.
Dude, Ott has been killing it.
Insane.
You got to be kidding me, man.
Yeah.
It's been insane. And to see Deshane at the end, like, win it
Yeah.
the other night was
Yeah.
incredible. After
And-
everybody was kind of pissed at him.
Right. I was pissed overall just because, I mean, obviously it was a goal. I pulled up social media and was like, that was a goal. That was a goal. And they didn't give it to us. And then, the last goal to close it out in overtime, too. Man, those guys were so exhausted, but they were pushing, right?
I was thinking about, like, how, like, they're used to, every line being out there for a minute and a half or however long they're
Yeah.
out there, but, like, they were on their way to playing 2 games.
Essentially.
I called him Deshane, and Deshane is my guitar player. Duchesne.
So
Right.
I was out on May 5th. I was at a concert.
Yeah.
I'm in the factory in Dallas, or used to be the Bomb Factory. Stars are playing against the Golden Knights, right? Yeah, Vegas. Yeah.
Golden Nuggets, actually.
Golden Nuggets.
Golden Nuggets.
Fucking with you.
Anyways, yeah, Knights, yeah. So they're playing that, and there's people in Stars jerseys there. They've got the game kind of playing, but there's this concert going, and I'm in the pit. I've got my phone, and I'm literally sitting there watching on YouTube on YouTube TV, watching the game. And there were several other people watching that last bit. And I was like, cool. All we gotta do is just win. All we gotta do is just win.
Yeah.
And then we win. I'm like, game off. I can enjoy the concert now.
Yeah. That kind of happened on the last game with the Mavs on Saturday. So it's been kind of crazy because a lot of times the Stars and the Mavs are playing the same night, and then you're kind of going back and forth, looking forward to this next bit because it's going to be every single night, just back and forth. We're going to have, from tomorrow for the next 2 weeks, we're just going to have nonstop sports. But we were watching our buddy Zeus play over at Hop Fusion, and of course we're listening to him. But I'm also just staring at the TV because I think at one point we were like down by 19?
17, I think.
17? Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
lot. And to come back, man, it was crazy. What do you think about that last call that is controversial?
Man, so that was a foul. Come on.
Right?
That
It was
was a
absolutely
foul.
a fucking foul.
They paused it, and the ball's still in his hand, but he's in the shooting motion.
Yeah.
You think about the NBA and the continuation you get. The dude's in the air shooting. After he gets all ball, then he's holding on to his forearm on
Right.
the way down. I think even SGA was just like, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It is what it is. But it's hilarious that it ended on him fouling somebody
Yeah.
after all of those fouls. I mean, Luka complains a ton, and it can get annoying.
Of course.
But also,
Sometimes
he's
it's
very
warranted.
justified a lot. It's warranted. I think he's 6'8", 250. It's just these guys are bouncing off of him.
Yeah.
He's like the guard version of Shaq. He's just so much bigger than them that he's not getting the calls. And I get it. He gets pissed. Sometimes he flops, and sometimes he's just being a new era complainer. But
Right.
In the baseball world, they're talking about bringing in AI and getting rid of umps. Have you heard that?
No.
I haven't heard this.
Because of how bad, like, so Angel
Some of the
Hernandez.
call- yeah.
like,
Oh, my gosh.
So I've gotten onto somehow I got onto baseball bad ump calls on TikTok, and some of the calls that are happening, especially him, have been outrageous, and so they are actually looking into an AI. There'll be umps still, obviously, right? But AI's tracking the ball and determining where the strike zone is and all that stuff.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either.
I like the idea of it being correct, right? But I also like the human error sometimes.
When it works for you.
Yeah.
So what if the AI, let's say, AI's been out for 2 years and it's like AI gets 98% of all calls right all the time. Are you like, I like this?
I don't know.
Like if you knew it was going to be right all the time.
I want to know what the ratio is now.
I
to be
would want it
honest
to
with
be
you.
more like 90 to 95%. I
Yeah.
think I'd be okay. But when you get up to like 98, 100%, it's like, man, you take no human error. Like everything is exactly what you see. I feel like that takes some of the enjoyment out of the game.
And it would also make it. I'm not saying make it easier to bet on. I mean, it would actually.
Yeah.
Because now you know like
Yeah.
this player is excellent. They're going to hit every time. There's not going to be this whatever.
Right.
There starts to be, some kind of coding bias
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
AI.
Oh,
man.
shit.
Oh, shit.
Someone gets hacked and all of a sudden, damn.
You can't blame. We're gonna be like blaming the AI, like we
Yeah.
blame the zebras. I don't know, man. But golly, dude, the Stars Mavs. I think they're both taking the next round. They're gonna be in the championship. You're not gonna believe me. We'll look at it. I'll take it
Okay.
off and you can see it. This right here's my Lucky Dirk jersey.
Yeah.
It's autographed.
Okay.
No
yeah.
shit.
And I'm wearing it. It's got the tag on it.
You've talked about this
Yeah, you
jersey.
talked about it, yeah.
It's on the back. It's very faint, but you'll see it.
And
when
you
we get done.
mentioned that you wore it like a fool.
I'm just dumb. Like I've only worn it. This is only maybe the third time I've ever worn it.
yeah.
But it like sat in my dad's closet forever, and he never like put it in a case or anything. It's just like the autograph keeps fading. And when we move, I'm framing it. I'm putting it. It's not getting worn anymore. But tonight I was like, I'll wear it.
gotcha.
And I don't know if you've noticed, I haven't been leaning back in my chair a lot because I don't want to lean up against the signature.
Smart.
Those that are listening to us and those that end up catching us on YouTube, if you have any pull and can talk to Dirk, let's make that happen so our boy Dustin can get that re-signed.
Yeah.
And
And Chad's got some rookie cards of Dirk that he'd like to get signed as well. Just FYI,
yeah.
you know.
That'd be great.
I mean, this is about you, but also about me. I
No,
think
it's about all of us. We got Rangers World Series champs.
Yeah.
We got Stars, and we got Mavs conference finals.
Yep.
We're gonna go to the
Can you
championship.
imagine like the trifecta there, and then, and I'm just gonna say, like, if we could get the Cowboys on board,
Well,
I made a deal with the Devil guys last fall.
Is that
and I
why
was
we got
like-
Zeke?
I remember telling my buddies, I was like, I would sacrifice the Cowboys. We'll go another 30 years
Yeah.
with no conference championships if the other three just can succeed and it's happening. And I'm like, the simulation heard me.
wow. This is your fault. I'm with you though. I'm with you.
I'm okay with it.
3 out of 4 ain't bad. You know
Let
what I mean?
Jerry suffer.
Yeah.
He's got to and then you got all the other squads. The Wings are good.
Yes, the Wings are fantastic.
The Renegades. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
Women's basketball is just booming. It's getting crazy.
it is, and it's getting a lot of traction.
And the Wings tickets are like sold out.
Yeah,
And they're moving, I think, now from playing at UTA to go into American Airlines because it's just getting obnoxious.
yeah. I gotta hit up Zach.
Yeah.
soon and see if we can let's make it happen. Let's meet some players and
It's a great time to be from DFW.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always great to be from Fort Worth.
You goddamn right. I think that's how we close it out.
And that was Action Sports with Dustin and Chad.
That is correct. Well, Dustin, where can people find you on all the social medias and all the things?
At Dustin Massey on like all the things.
Okay.
And DustinMasseyMusic.com. And yeah, check me out on Spotify and Apple Music and all that good stuff.
The new song.
New song, Always Been This Way. It's out there. Go playlist it on your playlist. Go stream it for me. I need that mailbox money because I got a baby coming.
Hell yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Well, thank you all for hanging out. Dustin, thanks for hanging out with us,
Love
man.
you
We
guys.
appreciate you. Shout out to MQ Kitchens again. I cannot wait to dive in to the other half of this steak sandwich. Appreciate y'all.
I ate all mine.
Yeah, I was not because I was talking. You were just being quiet.
I was eating.
Well, you can follow us on all things social media at The Funky Panther. You can find us at thefunkypanther.com. You can call, text. Thank you, Corey, for texting us, 817-677-0408. He shouted out to you for your food recommendation last time with Michael. What was the place? I already forgot the place. It was an Asian food place.
Asian Nights?
No, it was another one. Hold on. Please hold. Bangkok House.
Oh, Bangkok House. Yeah, that place is awesome.
He loves that place.
I ate that today.
Thanks for the text, Corey. Stay good, everybody. I'm Chad.
I'm Tim.
And I'm not Javier. I'm Dustin.
And we
are
the Funky Panther!
Bye.